Alright, we're going to review some of the things that we went over at the beginning of the year, but add on to it. So let's do a review of our decimals and place value. So we have 10 sticks here. So 10 over 10. There are 10 parts to the whole, because I have 10 pieces and one whole bar. So 10 over 10, we know that equals 1.0 or 1 whole. If I were to take away 3 of these, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 over 10 parts. So if we were to do that in a decimal, let's look first of all at our number line. Here is 0, here is 1 whole. The halfway mark is 50%, if we want to do percentages. In decimal, that would be 0.5 or 0.50. And in fraction, 1/2. But if we're looking at this in parts, if we're saying this is 10, all in parts of 10, then we would have to think this is 7/10. I have 7 pieces out of 10, 7/10. I don't have a whole anymore. I'm missing 3 parts of my whole. Where would that land on my number line? Is it closer to 0 or is it closer to 1 whole? Well, I know here's half. Do I have more than half? Well, I have 7/10. To make half, I would have to have 5/10. That's half of 10. So I know I'm closer to 1 whole because I have more than 1/2. If we were to reduce 5/10, how do we reduce it? Let's divide. Does 5 divide into 10? Yes, we can divide 5 by itself. That equals 1. Can we divide 10 by 5? Yes, we can. That's 2. 1/2. We know we have more than 1/2 because we have 7 pieces to our whole. So here would be 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 is here. So right here. So yes, we are closer to 1 whole versus here at 0. So we have more than half, not quite 1 whole, but more than half. So we're closer to 1. If we were to round this, we would round to 1 whole. If we were to round 0.7. Think of this as money. You could put the 0 behind it. Think in money. This would be 70 cents. We could say this is $1. So 70 cents is still less than 1 whole, but it's closer to 1 whole than 50 cents is. Think also about what we call this. When we're looking at our place value, we know that this is the tenths. Remember, with the S, the snake sound, tenths. It's T-H-S. This is the hundredths place value. We don't have a ones place value to the right of the decimal. Why would that be? Well, if we look at this and think about money, this would be 1 penny. That's in the pennies right here. So how many pennies does it take to make $1? 100 pennies. This here is the 100ths place value. So 100ths, 1 out of 100 pennies equals 1 whole. Alright, same as if I were to add now 2 more to this. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is that in decimal? Well, we know in fraction that's 9 out of 10. We have 10 parts to the whole. One is missing. So I just have 9. I have almost one whole, not quite. So if I were to put that in decimal, my tenths. What's my place value in tenths? Well, that would be this one right here. That's tenths. 1 dime is a tenth of $1. How many dimes does it take to get to $1? 10 dimes equal $1. Alright, so this would be, think of it, I have 9 dimes. 9 dimes equals 0.9 or 0.90, 90 cents. So 9 tenths, 9 dimes, if you think of it in money, 0.90. It's always easy to think of converting our fractions and decimals, or our decimals period and place value, if we think about it in terms of money. And how many pennies or hundredths make up $1 or 100? How many dimes or tenths make up $1?